Greetings, everyone. I'm doing a little vlog here. It's Friday, April 1st, and April 2nd, sorry. And I'm coming to you from the dining room of my parents' home in Grass Valley, California, out the Sierra to be exact. And I don't know, I just want to talk about some stuff this morning. Basically my story is I'm from here, from Grass Valley, and was really into heavy metal music when I was younger, and decided to go into a behind-the-scenes music as a career, and went to San Francisco to be trained as an audio engineer. I wanted to do engineering and producing and all that stuff. And I ended up settling down with a woman and getting a 9-to-5 job, working retail, selling guitar cables for 11 years, and wasn't really satisfied doing that. After this dead-end retail job I had for 11 years, I had a lot of time on the computer to do research and connect with people online through MySpace and whatnot. And I had somewhat of a spiritual awakening in the process, and realized that we're all divine beings, and that everything is one, everything is interconnected, and that the world as we end may be changing dramatically in 2012. I don't mean to freak people out by that, because it's not anything to be afraid of. It's not doom and gloom. It's definitely a positive thing, this opportunity that we have for a change in 2012. But mostly right now I just wanted to kind of get a little more personal and just kind of talk about my journey a little more. I've always dealt with shyness and social anxiety disorder, especially when it comes to talking to girls, and I was a virgin until I was 19, and my ex-wife was the only relationship I ever had. I've only been with 5 women, and when I was in San Francisco, this is before the internet, I had an ad in the personals and in SF Weekly, and so I had to add different ads in there over a period of about 6 months, and I think a total of about 12 responses, and only got to meet like 2 or 3 people in person. And so I wasn't good with the ladies. I would have to get really drunk at some club before I would even talk to one, and then by that time, who wants to talk to a drunk guy, right? So I wasn't really successful. So when my ex-wife contacted me through my ad, and we started seeing each other, I was 22, she was 26, and so it's interesting because they misprinted my age in SF Weekly and they said I was 24, and she said that she never would have answered my ad if they would have printed my age correctly, because she was 26 and was ready. She'd already done the whole LA. She was from Long Beach, so she'd already done the whole LA Hollywood party scene, and been screwed over by a few guys, and was ready to settle down and didn't want to mess around anymore. So very early on, she gave me this ultimatum of if we're going to continue this relationship, I need a commitment from you. You need to commit to me forever, basically. And I was 22 and just starting to date, and she was the first person I'd been able to date since I had been down there. So I was not ready to make a commitment like that, So I said that's not realistic. We kind of went our separate ways for about a month, and I tried calling this other girl that I was kind of interested in and never heard back from her, and that's a whole other story. But so about a month went by, and we both kind of called each other, and we're like, "Oh, how you doing?" And of course we got back together, and then it was the next month I was, we were, hot and heavy again, as it were. So. But as I evolved, I realized that I was going to have to, especially when I had my spiritual awakening about the whole 2012 stuff in '06, and shared my information with her, and she wasn't on the same page with me spiritually. I knew it was we were going to have to part. We were also having financial troubles, and there was some other issues in the relationship as well. So then I moved back up here with my parents here in Grass Valley. Stayed here for 10.5 months. Worked some crappy crappy dead-end retail job at a warehouse for $10 an hour, trying to figure out what I was going to do next. And I wanted to move to D.C., but I ended up moving down to Sacramento just temporarily to figure out what was going on with the house, because we still had, you know, a house to deal with. It was when going into foreclosure at this point. And then I got a DUI and had to give up my job in Sacramento that I didn't like either, and actually ended up moving back in with my ex for about 5 months last year, and that was cool. We got along great. You know, I mean, she still wants me back. That's what's painful about this whole. It'll be 3 years in June since I filed for divorce, and you know, she still wishes it could go back to the way it was, and it's been almost 3 years, and neither one of us has dated anyone. And I've been trying. You know, she hasn't been trying. You know, with a girl, it's a lot easier. All you have to do is put up your hand and say, "Hey, I'm single and I'm looking," and then you'll get flooded with responses. But for guys, it's a little harder. I've been doing all the online dating sites, not having any luck. So anyway, I just visited her last night for the first time since I moved away. I moved down to LA on August 31st, and it was kind of. She called me at a moment of weakness on Super Bowl Sunday, just this past February, and was like crying and like, "Why don't you love me anymore?" and all this stuff. And I was like, "Oh my God, we've already been through this a number of times." And I had to kind of like talk her through it, and it was very. I still get emotional about her, even though I don't really love her anymore in that way. I still, you know, have love for her, and I want to see her happy, you know. But so I've been feeling lonely and not having luck with the ladies, and then I called her in a moment of weakness, you know, a couple weeks ago, because my mom's been in the ICU with she was in the ICU. She just got out the other day, but she was in the ICU with pneumonia for 3 weeks, and so I was going to come up and visit for Easter and see her and everything, and so I thought it'd be nice to stop by and see my ex and see our 2 dogs that we had, Barney, a Pointer Pit mix, and Lucky, a Chihuahua Corgi mix. And so I kind of called her in a moment of weakness, I guess you could say, and you know, said I could come visit, and I did. I thought maybe we'd, you know, see a movie and I'd spend the night, not like no sex or nothing. Of course, that thought did cross my mind, because when I moved back in with her, we did have sex a couple times during that 5 months that I moved back in with her last year, but so it was nice. We just had dinner and walked with our dogs, and then she did invite me to stay and spend the night, and we were going to watch a movie, but then she changed her mind and said she was tired and wanted to go to bed early, and so I came home here to Grass Valley. To be continued, because I want to talk some more, but I think my 10 minutes is about up on this one.